baby, all the way. I never thought you'd get here, baby. You did it, baby, all the way. I never thought you'd get here, baby.
What is going on, guys, and welcome into the first episode of this new podcast. It is called, I believe I'm going to call it, I do not know for a fact, so do not quote me on this, but I'm hoping to call it the Finaticast. You guys will see it in the title, but, you know, really it's just, you've seen the other podcasts. We got the three-legged race with my friend Jordan and James. You've seen the regular podcast with my friend Nico, but this one is just my specialty podcast. It's me by myself talking about random topics that I want to talk about with you guys. Let me put on the headphones real quick. If they'll let me go. Nope, they're not going to let me go. So I'm just going to keep it here. It's just kind of a podcast for me to talk to you guys about some topics and have a good time. You know, it's the first video back. And I'm excited to be back. I've been away for a while. That's the first topic we're actually covering today is where I've been. Most of you guys already know if you saw my last video taking a break. I did end up taking a break. I had schoolwork to finish because, you know, I'm in college. I just finished my first year of college, which is absolutely wild. It's so crazy. If you guys can see, the background is different. We are back in my room in Tucson. We're back where it all began. But, we are back. And it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm hoping to do a lot of videos. I'm also going to be working as well. There's a lot of stuff going on this summer. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good time. I think we're going to have a good time. But basically, what have I been doing? I've been pretty much doing homework, been working on projects. My last grades are came in yesterday, I believe. My grades were due yesterday. And yeah, just a lot of school. I am doing a lot more with the ASU Esports Association. That is big. I am now the head of video production for that. I'm now the head of video production for that club. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming from that. I'm going to have a lot of access to different things to do for the organization. I think it's going to be a really, really great time. I think I'm going to take you guys along. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a lot of good times. I'm hoping to travel with them as well. They may be traveling to PAX East, so if you guys are going to be at PAX, let me know. So I will probably be traveling with them to PAX East. It's not confirmed yet, but we will see. Even if they are going, that's just kind of my lighting's really bad. That's not even confirmed if they're going yet or not, but, you know, if they are, I will try to make my way out to Boston for PAX. But, again, I cannot say that is even happening yet because it's not confirmed. We have no idea if that's going to happen yet. But let me know down below if you guys will be at PAX. If you will, maybe I'll be there. Maybe I'll see you guys. Maybe that'll be awesome. So what I want to talk about first today, the first real big thing besides where I've been is roster mania for Call of Duty Esports. Now, Call of Duty Esports is very big. For me, I follow Call of Duty Esports a lot. That's like the one esport that I follow a lot, except for the fact that I'm wearing a Houston Outlaws Overwatch League shirt, which I do follow the Overwatch League. But, you know, the first main esport that I ever got into was Call of Duty. Call of Duty is my favorite esport. It always will be. It always has been. And some big things happened. So my favorite team obviously is Optic Gaming, as most of you already know. And they just came out with a bombshell. They came out with a new roster. This is the first time they've made a roster change in 3.5 years almost. They've been the same roster for 3.5 years. Brought home the World Championship last year in Infinite Warfare. And just a great run with this team. They are, of course, the four best players in the game, obviously they were. But, you know, things have to change. So, obviously, Formal left to Luminosity. He will be taking over as their main AR. He was our main AR as well. And then one of our flex players, Karma, is now stepping aside from competing for the rest of the year. He will, I believe from what I've heard, he is working on a contract to stay with Optic as a content creator, which would be awesome. But that is to be seen, not known yet. But he is stepping aside. And then Optic brought on Methods from Team Caliber and Octane from Luminosity. So Form will obviously obviously be taking over Octane's position, who was the main AR. Octane was the main AR. And I think this roster, honestly, is going to be pretty nice. You could tell at the end of the reign of this last Optic roster that they just weren't meshing together. They really weren't playing well together at all. I think it's time for some new faces. I really think it was. And I think Methods and Octane are the perfect people to bring in to this roster. I think Crim6 and Scump are two of the best in the game, by far. Obviously, two of the best in the game. Scump's obviously the king. Crim is the Crimbot. And I think adding Methods and Octane really helps, because right now there's it's like a 2 AR meta in World War II, where 2 people run ARs, 2 people run subs. And that really works because Octane, of course, is the main AR. He will be the main AR. That's how it's going to be. And then Methods also ran an AR with Rise Nation when they won a few tournaments ago. He was running the AR. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the meta changes, if the meta changes, and when it does, how they'll react. I think they can make a run at a title or two. COD Champs, they possibly could. Now, I haven't seen this team play yet, so obviously, they could absolutely crap the bed and be awful. But from what I've heard, they've been scrimming a little bit. They've been doing a lot of good stuff. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a rejuvenation to the squad, which I think is something that Crim6 and Scump needed. I think they've been with the same people for 3.5 years, and if they were going to stay, they needed to have some new faces, which I think is really, really good on their part. I think that it's all for the better. I think it's all for the better. I think nothing could have happened that would have been bad. I think it's all an upgrade overall for everyone. Formal went over to Luminosity, a breath of fresh air for him, and other things as well, such as a breath of fresh air for the 2 guys on Optic. You give Methods and Octane an opportunity to be on one of the biggest franchises ever in esports on Optic Gaming. And it's just really great. Now, another big thing that happened with Optic Gaming is that Hitch, I don't know if you guys know Optic Hitch, he is no longer going to be working on Vision. His last Vision aired yesterday. That was his last one. It was the finale of Season 4. And that is a bigger bombshell to me than the roster mania for Optic in general. Hitch has been my inspiration. He is the entire reason why Brotherhood happened, which was the documentary series on my football team my senior year, and the whole reason why Made in Tucson happened. He is the reason why. That he is the main inspiration. And for him to leave, he's not leaving Optic. He's not going to be doing Vision anymore, which is very, very sad. And I wish him the best. I think it's going to be great. He's going to be a content creator. He's been diving into his work. He's been making a lot of videos, which has been great. But I'm going to miss him. I think it's going to be really, really tough to. It's going to be really tough to not see him take the credit for Vision. He's obviously still going to be the Optic COD videographer, which is, I would expect nothing less of him for him to do that. But besides that, it's on his own. It's sad. It really is, because I'm such a big fan of Hitch's. It's very sad to see him go. But you know what? All for the better. I think it'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. That's pretty much it for roster mania. That's all I really wanted to talk about. If more happens in the future, of course, I will be talking about it in the podcast. But the next thing I want to talk about some movies. So, although I have been working the last few weeks, I have gone to see a few movies. I'm not going to lie. I've seen 2 movies twice. I went and saw Ready Player One, which is probably my favorite movie ever. My favorite movie ever. I went and saw Ready Player One, and then I saw, of course, Avengers Infinity War. And just to tell you guys how much of a Ready Player One fan I am, I don't know if you can see it if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, I'm holding up a Ready Player One movie poster that I have framed that will be hung up sometime in the future. I have a big spot on the wall over here that it's going to be hung up, and then when I move into my apartment to start the next school year, it will be hung up in my apartment. But I'll start with Ready Player One. I think it was an absolutely incredible movie. I loved how they were able to go from the real world to the Oasis, which is like the virtual world. I love how they were able to go back and forth so seamlessly. It was great. I think the actors were incredible. The whole storyline. So I've read the book. If you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it. There are some changes to the book from the original what am I trying to say? There are changes to the movie from the book. That's what I'm trying to say. And they're obvious. But I'm not going to get into them. If you want to know what they are, go read the book, obviously. Highly recommend it. But I think the movie was just excellent. I think Spielberg did a fantastic job at giving the credit to the book that it deserved. I think it was done brilliantly, and I highly recommend it if you have not seen it already. Now, the big movie, of course, that we do have to talk about, of course, is Avengers Infinity War. Oh my gosh. Just spoiler alert if you have not watched it. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Now, these are not movie reviews. I'm going to have separate videos reviewing the movie fully, but these are just kind of my reactions. Oh my gosh. Like, what in the world? Just insane. The teaser, not the teaser at the end, the cliffhanger. Pretty much everyone except for the OG Avengers is gone. They're dead. They went to dust. Black Panther, Spider-Man, all the Guardians of the Galaxy pretty much, except for like Nebula. They're gone. They're gone. That's it. And it's going to be very interesting to see how they bring them back, because obviously, as we know, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, and Spider-Man are all confirmed to have sequels after this. So obviously they have to come back. Maybe not all the Guardians have to come back. Like, I think Gamora's actually dead after Thanos threw her off the side. Now, I think there may be something to do with the Soul Stone that may be able to bring her back to life, but I just don't know. That was one of the only deaths besides like Loki that looked really legit. When all those people faded into dust, that just doesn't seem legit to me. I mean, obviously it is, but those ones are the ones I think are going to be able to come back. Now, will people die probably in the final battle with Thanos? I have no idea. We will see. I'm very excited for May of next year. I think the movie's going to be absolutely incredible. If you have not seen it, which I'm assuming you probably all have if you're still here, because I did say spoiler warning, I highly recommend going to see it. I think there's just so many holes that are left to be filled that need to be filled. And another thing, it looks like they lost, but they lost the battle. They didn't lose the war. Now, when Doctor Strange went, like when they were on Titan, Doctor Strange looked at like the 14 million outcomes of the fight, and he said they could only win one of them. And then before he faded to dust, he said that was the only way. So that means that he had to give away the Time Stone to Thanos for Thanos to snap his fingers and disintegrate pretty much everyone. That needed to happen for them to come back in this next movie and beat Thanos. That is the only way that they would have won, is if he gave up the Time Stone and that happened. So obviously that means that there's going to be a lot going on in the future. Of course, we got to wait. It's less than a year now. It's coming out May 5th. Today is the 7th. So it's less than a year, obviously, but I just can't wait. I want to go see it now. I want to see it now. I mean, I know that Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out. I have no interest in going and seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I just can't wait. I cannot wait. But it's going to be great. I'm so excited. I've never been this excited for like the culmination of movies since probably Harry Potter Part 1 and Part 2. I haven't been this excited since then. I mean, except for Ready Player One. I was so hyped for Ready Player One. It's probably my favorite movie of all time. I have not been that excited ever. And that brings up another interesting topic. I want to talk about The Flash and Arrow. Both they're brought on for next season. They're both going to be happening next season. But it's very interesting. Apparently, Paul Blackburn, I believe this name is, who plays Quentin Lance, is going to be dying in Arrow, which there's only 2 episodes left. It's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be very action-packed. I'm interested to see what next year brings for Arrow. I honestly don't know. With The Flash, you can kind of tell, because you have the coffee shop girl who people are speculating is Barry and Iris' daughter. Apparently, she's going to be playing a big part in next year's show. She may be a season regular. And apparently that has something to the villain. There's something to do with the villain for next year as well. In the season finale, there's still 3 episodes of The Flash left. 3. But I think it's going to be very interesting. Arrow, I have no idea. No idea where it's going to go. I mean, there may be a cliffhanger, and then that'll get us ready for next season. But as of right now, it's kind of obvious where the Flash is going to go, except we don't know who the villain is. But besides that, it's kind of straightforward. You're going to find out who the chick is. She's going to be. What am I trying to say? she's going to be one of the regulars, and it's going to be a story around her. It's going to be an arc around her. But with Arrow, again, like I said, no idea at all. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick. That was not in my notes, actually, for topics, but I think that that's really interesting. Now, of course, you can't... we can't talk about... I can't be back without talking about... What am I trying to do here? I can't be back without talking about some Red Sox baseball. Especially since the Red Sox have been on an absolute tear. They are one game ahead of the Yankees in the standings right now. And we start a series against New York tomorrow. And I believe it's in the Bronx. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's in the Bronx. So they're going to have home field advantage, which is kind of worrisome. But you know what? I think the Red Sox will be fine. I think if I were to give my prediction, I say the Red Sox take 2 of the 3. If I look up right now who the pitchers are, I am almost positive that Porcello is pitching on the mound tomorrow against Severino. I believe that's the matchup. No, it's Pomeranz for Severino. I'm going to have to give that one to the Yankees because Severino is a very dominant pitcher, and I think they will get the dub. Then we have Price versus Tanaka. This one, I give the nod to the Red Sox because now Tanaka has been good. He's 4-2. Price is 2-4, but Tanaka's ERA is about 4.40. And I think the Red Sox will jump all over him unless Mookie Betts is hurt because he got hurt yesterday, and if he continues to be hurt, then I will have to give the nod to the Yankees. But I'm going to give it to the Red Sox right now. And then, of course, you got Porcello versus Sabathia. Sabathia has been pitching out of his mind lately, but Porcello is 5-0. He's been pitching. He's been given a pitching clinic so far to anyone he's faced. So I'm going to give the nod to the Red Sox in that one as well. I have them taking 2 of the 3. Unless they play a 4th, which I don't think is a thing. No, because then we go to play the Blue Jays. So I give them 2 of 3. It's going to be a great series, though. A lot of things could happen that I could not even be prepared for. But we'll see. It's still early in the season. We're still in the beginning of May. The season's only been going on for a month. So I think it's going to be a while to really figure out what is going to happen. I think, the Red Sox have started out hot. They've cooled off a little bit. The Yankees started out really cold, and now they've heated up. They've won I believe it was 16 of their last 18, which is scary, which means the Red Sox need to keep going. But, it's going to be great. It's the greatest rivalry in sports. It's going to go down to the wire every game. I don't think there's going to be any blowouts. I think they're all going to be close games. And this is a very, very possible look at a possible ALCS this year. Because both teams have just been incredible, and the Astros have faltered a little bit. They're still only 1 back of the Angels, but, they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks, who are a legit team, but the Astros are supposed to be this high and mighty team that's the best in baseball. So that's all I really got to say about that. We will probably talk about more of that in the next episode. Good news on the baseball front, though. I just saw this right now. I just saw the tweet. Let me pull it up real quick. It's about that White Sox reliever, Danny Farquhar, I believe his name is. He was discharged from the hospital today. He had that brain aneurysm, and there was bleeding in his brain. That was really, really scary. He was just released from the hospital today, so that's great news. That was just happening right now as we speak. And the last thing I want to talk about real quick is I just want to talk about the draft. So I watched the draft from my work at the radio station, which is now complete. But can we just talk? I just want to talk about the Browns. I don't want to talk about anyone else. Browns, what are you doing? What are you doing, Cleveland Browns? You have the number 1 and number 4 overall picks. So I'm assuming you go into this, you have your draft board. If you're looking for a quarterback, you probably have 3 or 4 quarterbacks that you'd be okay with. Now, maybe you've got your one ideal one that you're we need to have this person. But besides that, you probably have 3 or 4 that you're oh yeah, we can work with this person or we can work with that person. Now, never in my life did I ever think that those 3 or 4 would have Baker Mayfield in them for the number 1 overall. So they took Baker Mayfield, which I'm sorry, I believe is a mistake. I don't want to just say it's because he's like Johnny Manziel, but I don't know. I don't want to make a. I don't want to. I don't want to really say that he's going to fail or not yet because I haven't really seen him play for an NFL team. We saw him play in college. He was incredible. But at the same time, he's. I just feel like. I don't know. I really didn't like the pick. I didn't think the pick was that good at all. I think they will end up regretting it, but that's just my opinion. I don't have any fact based off of that, obviously, because we haven't even started training camp yet. So it's all to be seen. I have no idea. But what I believed they should have done was they should have gone Saquon Barkley, number 1 overall. Saquon is such a talented player. And, people are like, oh, why spend a pick on him when you could get a value running back in the later rounds? Well, because he's like the best athlete. You can throw to him. You can hand it off to him. He's so versatile. He can block. He can do all of that. He's just such a versatile player. And he would have been picked number 2 overall anyway, which he was. So I think, if you're the Browns, you need to take Saquon because you need to have that really dominant running back to establish the running game. And then you get a quarterback 4 because I said you have like 4 quarterbacks. You're guaranteed to have at least one of those 3 still there because there's only 2 picks before you. You're guaranteed to have one of those quarterbacks still there. So that overall was the first bad thing I didn't make because then you'd have Saquon in the backfield establishing the run. Then you have a quarterback, which you already have Tyrod, who's not bad, but then you can have this other backup quarterback throwing to Jarvis Landry and Josh Gordon. But you decide to go with Baker Mayfield. You don't have a running back that's really versatile. I don't know. I guess it'll. I guess it's to be seen. I don't know. They could have made a great decision. And then another thing is with their number 4 pick, why they didn't take Bradley Chubb, I have no idea. Why you don't have him coming off the edge with Myles Garrett coming off the other edge is beyond me. I don't know. The Browns front office, I feel like, did not draft well at all. That is just my opinion. I would love for them to prove me wrong. I really would because I want to see the Browns be a good team. I want to see them be a good team. That's why I'm so disappointed that they didn't draft as well as I think they could have. But again, it's to be seen. They could end up being the best players in the NFL. Baker Mayfield and I don't remember who the corner was. They could end up being the best teams in the NFL, and I could be completely wrong. I don't know. We will see. We will see. It's to be seen. I don't know yet what. I don't know what'll be happening. I'm just not going to keep going on this because I'm just going to get triggered because I just feel like it was not a good pick at all. But that's all I have to say about that. And that's pretty much the end of the podcast today. About 23, 24 minutes. In the future, I'd hope to make them a bit longer. I'd love to have guests on. But, this is just kind of a period to talk about some topics, kind of veg a little bit, just kind of take a little time off and talk about some stuff. Of course, I'm back. I'm going to be posting YouTube videos. If not every day, I'm going to be trying to do as much as I can. The goal is still to get to 365 videos. Will that happen? I can't make any guarantees, honestly, because school next year is going to be hectic and busy with the Esports Association and with the other clubs that I'm doing. It's going to be very hectic, but we'll see. So if you guys enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're new, I'm back. I'm ready to go. It's going to be great. I really honestly think it's going to be awesome. I think I got a lot of cool stuff coming. I got a lot of cool ideas. Got a lot of people I want to collab with. And, if you want to subscribe now. This is the time. I'm back. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of stuff written down. There's a lot of stuff I want to do. So, do it. Subscribe. This is the best time to do it. I'd love to get to 100 subscribers sometime this year if that can happen. I'm going to shoot for my birthday right now. My birthday is at the end of September. It is currently May. If we can get to 100 by my birthday, that would be absolutely amazing. But again, I understand if we can't. I've been at 85 for about a year and a half now. So if we don't move at all, that's not that big of a deal. But I'd love to try to get to 100 subscribers by the end of September. So if we can do that, that would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's good to be back. It's summertime. Let me know down below when you're off of school if you're already off of school. Let me know when you're off. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Have a great rest of your day. And we will see you later.
Happy New Year. Beautiful. Let's start the year off right.